Hey everybody, welcome back to Cumberlachia. As you can see, it is another beautiful spring day. I want to say it's beautiful because this morning when I got up it was 34 degrees, but now it's I think 72 it's up to. So I decided to get out of the camper, come out here where a lot of you have already seen me cooking out here in, this is this little makeshift kitchen that I have right now. We're going to have a nice bigger outdoor kitchen over where the cabin's going to be, which is over there behind you. I don't know if you can hear it. I have a noisy rooster back here. He's been yelling at me all day. There he goes. So today I thought we'd come out here come out here outside, and instead of using the stovetop, we're going to use the smoker. I'm going to smoke a chicken, and I'm going to show you the fastest and easiest way to cook it. Because if you cook it whole like this, it's going to take a lot longer to cook. But we're going to do what they call spatchcocking it. That means just cutting out the backbone, flattening it down, and putting it in the smoker. It smokes evenly all the way through it a lot quicker. I'm going to give you a bonus today because I got to have something to eat with my chicken. So we're going to do some cowboy beans. I just grabbed a bunch of things from the camper. Well, can't even call it a camper anymore. It's a cabin. Let me show you a picture over here. This is our cabin now that used to be a camper. We've added a full living room onto it and closed the entire thing. So we just call it our mini cabin right now because we're going to have our other cabin right over here. But I just grabbed some of the things I had. You can basically toss together any way you want, spices, beans, anything that you want to do with your cowboy beans. We'll get to that in a second. So first, I do need to get this into the smoker because it takes about an hour and a half to cook. And I've just had it covered in this plastic right here, just so if we do have any bugs, and I haven't seen too many, but I didn't want them flying around. So you're just going to take a whole chicken and you're going to put it breast side down, and we're just going to cut out the backbone and then we're going to flatten it out. So I've already got my fingers dirty picking up the chicken. I'm just wiping off. I'm not going to touch anything that we're going to do in the beans. I'm just going to do the chicken first, then we'll clean up and we'll work on the beans. So you're going to need either a good pair of kitchen shears or a good knife. And we're just going to go straight down the back and take out the backbone, cutting it on each side. And these kitchen shears may need a little sharpening. I'll turn him around and go into the side that goes over the fence last. And just cut out the bone. Now at this point it should be, and I'm going to make sure, take my knife in there all the way through. And look at this, surprised me, they put the innards inside. Don't need these. I'll get rid of those. I'm not going to, any other time I'd be making gravy and such, but I'm not going to be making gravy today, so I'm not going to use those. I will take them out of there, throw them in the compost so we don't waste those. Then we're going to take out the rest of the backbone here. This is just I just got a Purdue roaster. They had Purdue on sale, so that's what we got. I'm going to take this also, and usually I would put all these aside and make stock out of them, but since I'm cooking outside, I don't want to do that. So this will go into the compost as well. So now we got that all opened up. I'm going to move my scissors aside. We're just going to take the chicken, pull it open and down. There we go. And that is all there is to spatchcocking a chicken. It's just laid it out. So now, I mean, it is still pretty thick. Some of these birds have breasts so large on them, they're too thick. That's why I want to get it in the roaster, because you do want to get it to 165 degrees internal temperature. I'm going to wash my hands up real quick and then we're going to season it. In fact, I just got that water this morning. For those of you that have been following me for a while, you know we're up here in what we call Cumberlachia. It's in the Appalachian Mountains, and right along there is the Cumberland Mountains. So we took the two names and put them together and came up with Cumberlachia for our homestead. And just down the road is a natural spring that comes out of the mountain. and I go get water there, and got a container here. Got it for my birds. We have it in the cabin also, and I've been drinking that for, well, we've been here in May, it'll be 2 years. So I've been drinking that water since we got here. The city where it's at tests it monthly, and there's never been any problem with it. So I'm telling you, I call it my Jesus water because Jesus gives it to us right out of the mountain. So now I'm going to season this up just with my seasoning blend. I can't get anything to stay over there. And you guys have seen this before. I've used it on a lot of different things. You can go back and I will put a link down below to this seasoning blend. And it's on my website. I use it for pork. I use it for chicken. Use it for all kinds of things. Just get it on there. We want to get in the smoker so the smoke will start penetrating into the meat and the skin. And we're going to start at about 225. We're going to do that for about 45 minutes. And then we're going to increase the temperature up to 425. And we're going to do that for 45 minutes. Now that additional heat at the end is just to crisp up the chicken. So it'll be nice and crisp. Let me grab, see if I can do this. I know this grate's going to be hot. Let me move some things aside. And we're just going to lay this right on a grate. Now for those of you who have not used a smoker, I've got, this smoker itself has two different sections. The bottom section's where the wood goes and where the fire is that gets it smoking. And I'm just using pecan chips. These are Weber pecan chips. You get these at the grocery store, Walmart, Home Depot, wherever you want to, pick them up, even Lowe's. But you can use different kinds, pecan, apple, cherry. I like cherry when I'm doing some of my smaller pieces of chicken and sausages. But in this second top part, I can open up for you to see, it does have a little container down here that you put water in, or when I'm doing a pork shoulder, I'll put apple juice in there and a little, apple cider vinegar. And that'll help get into the meat and help tenderize it. So let me get this right here on our grate. And then we'll put him back in there. Now, when I'm doing chicken, or when you're doing chicken as well, always put your chicken, let me close that for a second because this is important. You always put your chicken on the bottom shelf because you're going to cook different things. Sometimes I'll have pork roast in there, I'll have sausages in there, I'll have my beans in there. And when I do the pork and the sausages, my beans go on the bottom rack without a lid, and all that fat and juice just cooks out of the pork and drips down in there. You don't want to do that with chicken because you don't want to get the chicken juice in there and get possibly beans not get hot enough and get salmonella. So you always, always, always put your poultry on the bottom rack or nothing below it. I'm gonna put mine right in the middle. There we go. And then I am going to lower this rack because I want my beans to be able to sit there. And we're just going to close that off. I'm at, well, it's down under 225 right now because I've had the door open. So first I want to get this out of the way, put it way over here. We'll clean that up after a bit with those. Gotta wash my hands again. So let's start on the beans because we want them to cook for quite a bit too. And of course I'm going to get my cast iron out here, a little dusty. Now, this is the easy part with the beans. You can start with a can of any baked beans you want, and that's just going to give you a little bit more flavor that's already in there. We're going to put those in. And then from here you can put whatever beans you want in it. I'm using pinto beans because I love my pinto beans. The only thing I like, well, no, the only pinto beans is my favorite, then kidney beans. And then we're gonna put some black beans in there. And I did drain all of these except for the baked beans. I did drain all the other beans. And I love butter beans in here as well. Not just for the taste, but gives it a nice color. Get rid of all these. And lets me we're going to put, actually I'm looking for my pork. There it is. Usually I would take one of my pork roasts that I did the weekend before and shred it and put that in the refrigerator for the next weekend to put in my beans. I don't have that. So today I'm going to use my pork and bean, or my pulled pork that I canned, and I don't have my opener right here. So as I showed you guys before, this little trick, you can just take the rim, lodge it right under the lid there, pull up, and it comes right open. Didn't bend it or anything. So we'll put you back there. And now I'm going to take out these pork and beans. Give me my littlest that will fit in there. I don't think any of these might fit in there. Yes, it will. Barely. Now there is a little bit of fat right on the top, and I'm going to leave that in there because that fat is flavor, and there's not a whole lot. And I can't get that in there, so we're going to cheat because I didn't bring my little ones. Just going to use the handle. You do what you can with what you got. Now you don't have to put pork in there at all if you don't want to, but you could put bacon in there that you fried off in the morning. That'll season too. I just like the smokiness from this pork because this is pulled pork that I did in the smoker, believe it or not, down in South Florida before we moved here 2 years ago. This is the pork that I had down there. So now I'm going to put in some of my dried peppers, dehydrated, and we'll put about well, maybe a little bit, handful in there. If you're doing this from fresh, just use a whole green pepper, yellow pepper, red pepper, whatever you'd like. And then I'd usually put a half of an onion in there, and I'm going to use my dehydrated onions as well because I'm hoping this garden is going to be providing a lot for us this year. So I got to use up some of this stuff that I've already got. And finally, I have some green chilies. As you guys know, I love my green chilies. So I'm just going to put those in there as well. Juice and all, because that juice has got the flavor. Okay, now we're going to season it. And we're going to start with some garlic. I love garlic, so I might put a little extra in there. So maybe a tablespoon, or maybe a little bit more. And then I'm going to put some tomato powder that my mom dried the tomato skins last year. She dehydrated them. This adds a lot of tomato flavor. It makes it a lot richer. It's kind of like a tomato paste, and I want that tomatoey flavor in my beans. So I'm going to probably put about teaspoon and a half in there. If you don't have that, you can put a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half of tomato paste. That'll work just as well. And we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of mustard. I like my spicy brown. And I'm making a mess. There we go. Just put that in there. And as you can see, this is just things that I grabbed out of the refrigerator you guys have in there in your pantry and fridge, and it turns out great. I love Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue sauce. If I'm not making my own, this is the one I'm going to use. And since it's just now barbecue season, I haven't made any barbecue sauce yet this year. So I'm going to be using probably a half a cup of Sweet Baby Ray's. Maybe a little more. And now these 3 are just for taste. This is that I like. I got my Worcestershire sauce, or as my grandpa would say, who's your sister sauce. I got some apple cider vinegar, and this is Tabasco. It's a Chipotle Tabasco that I buy. Gives it a little more smoky flavor, a little bit of heat, not a whole lot, but maybe about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of that. This is optional. Like I said, you can put in it as much as you want, or just leave it out. And then we have our Worcestershire sauce, probably about a teaspoon of that. And probably about half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. And this is with the mother. I think I got everything in here now, don't I? Now, I like my beans. When I make Cowboy beans, I make it with anything that I do when I do on the smoker. I like them to have just a little bit of the same flavor, a little hint of the flavor as what I've got in the smoker, the protein, the meat. So I'm going to put some of my dry seasoning in there. And let's say I'll measure it out. We're going to put, get this opened. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon in, so there's a half a teaspoon, and there's another. Now, if you notice, I didn't put any ketchup in there. I like the barbecue sauce, and that along with the tomato powder kind of gives you the ketchupy flavor. So now let's stir all of this together. I don't know if you guys can hear it back here behind me. For those of you, and I know there's a lot of you that are new, we're up on top of a mountain, basically. I mean, I can see the next mountain over, and then it just drops off all the way around us. So nobody's up here around us. Nobody can see us, what we're doing up here. All private. Now that the green leaves are coming back out, it is just beautiful. And let me get this. Like I said, back here is what you're hearing is my quail. In fact, if you like, I'll take you guys back there as soon as I get this all together and into the smoker. I'm going to put a little more barbecue sauce in there. It doesn't look like it's got enough for me. And you can also make these with hamburger. Take a pound of hamburger, fry it off, then do the beans in it. It's a complete meal. This could actually be a complete meal too with the pork in it. But for me, it's a side. Now these are going to go in there and they're going to cook just as long as that chicken does. Sometimes I'll get up in the morning when I'm going to do these and I'll start them on the stove and let them just simmer all day long on the stove. I'm not going to, oops, let me get that cleaned. I am going to cover them just for a little bit because covering them will help them heat faster. And probably about 45 minutes when I crank this up to 425, I'll take the lid off because I want that smoky flavor to get in there. So I'm just going to set these in there, pray that it will hold it. And for those of you who haven't used a smoker is basically an oven. I mean, I can get that to any temperature I want. Last year, you probably watched one of my videos. If you haven't seen it, go back into our playlist. I did breakfast up here. I did biscuits in the smoker. Those were amazing. I've done cheesecake in the smoker. Actually, I'll put a link down below because I didn't do videos on a lot of this stuff that I did when I was in Florida because I hadn't started my channel yet. But I have smoked just about everything in the smoker and it comes out amazing. So I am going to close. There's a vent in the back and I'm going to close it about half off. There we go. So some of the smoke stays in there, starts going around the chicken and into that bean. Well, when I take the lid off, it'll go into the beans. But it gets into that chicken and just turns it nice smoky brown. And in the meantime, we can go back and look at the quail because right now, excuse me, something just flew into my eye. Right now we only have quail, but over here to your right, soon there will be goats. Right here to your left. And the reason, if any of you have seen my videos before, my kitchen looks a little bit turned, is because there used to be a big pine tree right here beside my garden. You guys probably see it if you look back in some of my videos. Well, this winter it decided it was going to come down and it fell, but it fell into a tree right beside me and it didn't go anywhere. So yesterday we decided that tree had to come down because I couldn't do my cooking out here or do anything. So we got the tree down. So over here, there's a bunch of mess of tree that we started cleaning up yesterday. We got to get done, but I needed to do a video today because I had to get back out with you guys. I missed you a lot. So, but like I said, this garden will be fully going shortly. We'll have the chickens over here. We will have goats over here, turkeys running around here. We're going to have a full farm up here. But give me a minute and we'll go back and we'll check out and see what the quail are doing. Keep going. And if you can't tell, you can hear the roosters going. It is spring. I have all my roosters separated, unfortunately, from my hens because they were tearing my hens apart when they got to about 8 weeks, 10 weeks old. And I had to separate them. They weren't just breeding, they were fighting. They killed one of them and maimed a couple others. Two of them that they tore up is Loretta and Patsy. Any of you guys follow me? I know there's a whole lot of you that just joined us because of our March collaboration, Marching In With Casseroles, and you guys have seen my quail before. For those of you who haven't, I have 4 females down here. I have 3 up here. Now the 4 down here, 2 of them, Patsy and Loretta, and I named them after my favorite, 2 of my favorite female country artists. They're down here. I don't see any eggs. They usually lay eggs in the evening, late afternoon, early evening. But let me look in here and see if there's one in the box first. Sometimes there'll be an early one. Nope, none in there. So, but this is Loretta and Patsy. I've got 2 different feeders in here because I'm trying to wean them off of this feeder because they just waste it. It's one that's less wasteful. There comes Patsy right up, check and see what I'm doing. And Loretta's back there. In the mornings, they go crazy when I come back here because they want me to get them purple dead nettle, which I don't see any right here, but I'll grab her some in a second. But this little lady right up front is Patsy. She always comes up to see me. I'll grab her so y'all can say hi. She's my little sweetie. She had her head torn up really bad, her and Loretta, by 2 of these roosters. But she'll come out every time I open the thing, just comes out and sees me. I can pet her and play with her. She'll let me pet her all the time in there. And then Loretta's in the back hiding. But those, like I said, there goes Loretta. We have the females on these 2. We have 2 roosters up here that get along kind of by themselves. And we have 3 roosters down here. We have one in solitary confinement in there. He's the one that massacred my youngest when it was young. Now I'm going to show you Holly. Holly's the one that we actually hatched here. She's the only animal born on Cumberlachia homestead. And we had, I think, 14 to 20 eggs. None of them were fertile because we candled them afterwards, except hers. Hers was the only one. Now I have to stand up here because I'm a shorty to get up here to get her. I don't know if I can catch her. She's not as wanting to say hi and everything as Loretta and Patsy are, but I'll see if I can get her. Well, this is Holly, and she's our only white, and she's a jumbo, and you can tell by her eggs that she's a jumbo. Her eggs are all a lot bigger than all the others. And I can see, I can hold her, she'll let me pet her sometimes, but she's not very happy today. So we're gonna put her back in there. And she's up here with Pearl, which is a pearl Coturnix quail, and then we have Rose, who is a tuxedo Coturnix quail. That's Rose there, and Pearl's in her little hutch there, or hut. And this, there is absolutely no way any predator is going to get into this to get to our birds, because not only is it, I think probably weighs 1,000 pounds. Let me reach across to you guys. So we have latches that go down, and then I use these little keys on there that they'll stay closed as well. Now, one nice thing about this cage, and it's dirty right now, I haven't cleaned it this weekend, is with the quail, they'll lay them in there usually or back in here, but most of the time when they lay them in this part, she wants some of the dead nettle. The eggs roll, oh, here you go. The eggs roll right out, and then you have your quail egg. Now, a quail egg, for those of you who don't know, is about 1/3 the size of a chicken egg. It takes 3 of these to equal 1 chicken egg. But quail eggs are so much more healthy for you, have much more health benefits, and they're delicious. Now, of course, being this small, the yolk in context to the white, there's more yolk to white in the quail egg than there is a chicken egg. So when you fry these up, if you fry them sunny side up, you're going to get big yolk with a little white around it. But these are really good. I'm going to put her right back in there because I'll collect it tonight with the rest of them and be safe. So those are my girls, and my roosters are down here. We're getting more. These are basically our pets. We raised these from babies. They were only, well, the rest of them were 3 days old when we got them, and we hatched Holly out herself. So we're going to be building a small aviary, a walk-in aviary where they can all go into, the females, and have their little hutch. I will get some new males. For some reason, all the males that I got are just not very friendly like my girls. So we'll get some new ones because I don't want to keep going with that bad trait and the aggressiveness in my quail. But we're going to get some more so we can use them not only for selling quail eggs at the farmer's market and have quail eggs for us, but they are one of the few animals that at 10 weeks, they're ready to harvest. They're fully grown. They start laying eggs. So they're great meat birds. It's all dark meat. It doesn't have any white meat like chicken. It's all dark meat. Yes, we hear you. And if you don't be quiet, he's been driving me crazy all day. And if he doesn't be quiet, he's going to go in the smoker. But those 3 down there and these 2 up here will probably be going to freezer camp. The girls are all going to go in the new aviary that we built. So those are our first critters here on Cumberlachia Homestead, and when we get more, we will show them to you because we are actually going to start another channel. I'm going to put, it's called Cumberlachia Homestead. I'll put a link down below. There's no videos on it right now, But go over and like it and subscribe. That way, once I start putting the videos, because I have filmed some on my black walnuts that I did last year, actually making stain out of those black walnuts, a bunch of different things I've done around the homestead, putting our, I'll show you, I didn't do video of it, but we did pictures of building the workshop, and that was last year at this time. We were just finishing it. So I'll do a little video collage of that too with all the photos so you guys can see it. So I'm gonna let the birds take a nap now since I've drove them crazy and got them noisy, and I'm gonna go back and check the chicken, and I'll come back to see you as soon as we get it out. Hey everybody, we're back. This place, I've been trying to do some work around here, but I can't do any work. This smells so good. Smoking up this entire Cumberlachia with the smell of this chicken and these beans. And I told you, if you don't hush down, you're going in the smoker, sir. Okay, let's get this out. First, we're gonna get out the chicken. Y'all look at that. I'm gonna turn this around and we're gonna pray that I don't dump it. Look at that chicken. Nice and juicy. It's still dripping. And that's why I said we put the chicken above or below everything else, because you don't want the drippings down in there. Now I'm going to set this aside and let it cool just a minute, because you want the juices to redistribute a little bit. We're going to get out the beans. I'm kind of excited about these beans more than the chicken, because I love these beans. Close this all up. And all right. Oh, look at that. Now, I did forget to put about a half a cup of brown sugar in, and I remember when I took the lid off. So I did put the half cup of brown sugar in. Of course, all the ingredients are going to be down below and the description and on my website, gregs-kitchen.com. Now, I may have done them a little bit different than my normal recipe, because like I told you, I did what I had in my kitchen, and that's what I got out. So let me get a spoon. Give me a little fork here. I'm just going to give these a taste for salt and pepper. I got it, saved it out just in case. I don't think I'll need it, because the beans were in a salty brine. Those are delicious. The only thing better is, like I said, sometimes I'd put them on the stove in the morning and just let them cook all day, and they become real thick and rich. Those taste amazing. So let me set these aside a little bit. We're going to work on that chicken. Now I'm going to see if I can pull him off of that board, or onto the board from the grate. There we go. Ooh, you see that? I just about put some chicken aside. That is so smoky. Crispy on the grill there from the heat coming up and crisping it up. Because I did turn the temperature up to 425, and you can see the skin did get a little crispy. You can even hear it. Now all we got to do is just carve this up. I'm going to take out the leg first, and this is very hot. And if y'all can see, the juices are just pouring out of this chicken. It is not dry whatsoever. There's one thigh and leg. It's almost falling apart. And yes, it's very hot. I'm gonna grab me a napkin. Not to keep clean, but to try to keep my fingers from burning. Cut this down. There we go. Now, I'm gonna leave the wings. Well, you know, I'll take them off here. Just want to get right in that joint and push down. There we go. Got your wing. There we go. And then all we have left is the two breasts. Just going to go straight down the breastbone. And I know I'm going to burn myself. Where's that fork? I know I had it in my mouth, but I'm the only one eating this, so don't worry about it. I just want to hold it still. There we go. And we have just done a whole chicken. I feel sorry for people that only can buy chicken in pieces. if you go buy it like this, it's a lot cheaper, and I think it's more fun just to cut it up yourself, because you can cut this chicken breast in different pieces and different sizes. I'm going to cheat again. Yeah, so good. Now, spatchcocking the chicken, I didn't do that just because I was smoking it. You can do this in your oven. It works great. It cooks quicker. So it was just a way of cooking your chicken, not the way you have to cook it in your smoker. So I am going to, I don't know where this little bone came out. I think it came out of the wing. I'm going to go for one of the wings here. Ooh, it is just falling apart. Sorry, but chicken is only supposed to be eaten with your fingers anyways. It's very hot. I can smell the smoke. I can smell it. I can taste the smoke. And then the caramelization from those spices that I put on it earlier, they seeped right into the chicken itself. Well, give me a little piece, more piece of that. Y'all gotta give this one a try. This is amazing. If you don't have a smoker, you can do the same thing in your oven. Just add a little bit of liquid smoke and like maybe some butter and smear it around the top of on the skin of the chicken. Then put your seasonings on it. That way this liquid smoke will seep down in there and give you a little bit of smoky flavor. But if you can get a smoker, by all means, you can smoke anything in there and it just tastes so good. So I'm gonna let y'all go because I'm gonna eat this chicken and them beans. And I promise to see you probably this week, maybe again for one more video, not outside because it's supposed to rain for the next 5 days. And somebody back there is just noisy. But I love hearing these sounds up here. It's better than cars beeping. But we'll probably be doing something in the kitchen later in the week. Mom's got a couple videos for you. I think a lemon bar that we're going to do this week. So until next time, and I can get back out here again maybe next week, and it's supposed to be nice. Y'all take care. God bless, and thanks for coming up to Cumberlachia. Love you.